Each year, Microsoft Research hosts hundreds of influential speakers from around the world, including leading scientists, renowned experts in technology, book authors, and leading academics, and makes videos of these lectures freely available.
So next up, we have Eindhoven.
So hi everyone, we're the students of the University of Technology Eindhoven. This here is Ken, my name is Leonie, and we're working together in a team with Tom and Koen. And we're here today to introduce you our concept called AMP and show you our process how we came to this end result. AMP focuses on sharing social data, which is of course related to this year's theme of the Design Expo, big data. So nowadays, through our mobile devices, we're always connected and we have very easy access to large amounts of information. And actually we're using our smartphones over 2 hours a day. So are we becoming a little bit addicted to all this information that we can access? Probably everybody recognizes those moments when you take out your phone just to check if you have new emails or messages coming in. It's a quite unconscious behavior. And especially when you're together with your friends, this can be quite annoying. Well, this picture was actually taken during one of our project days. So Tom walked in on us and saw us sitting like this. And what you see is that we're very distracted. We pay all our attention to our phones and not to each other. So we're starting to isolate ourselves in the social context. And well, we took this situation as a starting point to design for. Through several interviews, observations, and workshops, we came to the conclusion that this distraction does harm the social interaction. But on the other hand, we discovered that it can also add value to the conversation. Our users clearly indicated that removing the phones from the situation would not be an option. So this brought us to the main question in this project. How can we bring the data that we now access through our phones to a social context in a way that adds value to the conversation and does not isolate us? So now Ken will tell you something about our process and our concept.
Okay, so how did we start our design process? Through a series of hands-on explorations and prototypes, we generated ideas how to tackle phones and data in a social context. We liked the idea to put your phone on the table, since this gesture made an action and inspired us throughout the explorations. In addition, we also made scenarios which mapped out the main important values. And in addition, we created acting out sessions, which gave us a first-person perspective what sort of information we had to use. So through interviews and user tests, we finally made the decision to choose data related to the city. To be more specific, what is actually happening in the city. By using location-based data, we wanted to add value. Location-based data such as Twitter messages and Instagram photos. We combined the explorative prototyping sessions with use of the location-based data to enhance social context. We created an experience which allows the user to put their phones on the table and enhance their conversations by using location-based data. And this leads up to our final concept called AMP. I would like to show you a video which is showing the lamp itself, as you can see right now, and also the possibilities, how it would work and how it would react in action. So we start our story with Nicholas. He's going to meet up with a few friends in a restaurant or a bar or a cafe. And while he's waiting, he sees the lamp and he can interact with it. So he pulls up his application and he places it on the table. There's a small little phone application supporting this. And in downtown Eindhoven, there are some people publishing or tweeting or making photographs, which could be visible in the application itself. So he places his phone on there to see what is actually happening. You can see he's searching up some information about the klokgebouw. And while he's doing that, some other people are could make photographs or could talk about the museum. So he could switch between those points and see what is actually happening. So the friends are joining in, and they could enhance their conversation by placing their phones on the table on those hotspots, which are represented by the online activity, and actually see what is happening. They could determine, for instance, what to do next, and go to that specific place after their drink or after their dinner. So AMP consists of three main components. The first component is the lamp. It's an object that integrates and blends into the environment and is also responsible for the light effect. The second component is the map, which is the light effect and is created by a shadow of the lamp and is also showing the online activity. So it creates hotspots where people could place their phones on. The third and final component is the application. So people could place their phones on the hotspots and it would represent, for instance, the things that are happening right now. And they could look up what is actually being taken or what sort of photographs are being taken there. I would like to show a little live demo. So can we pull up the cameras? So can we change up the camera image on the presentation? Thanks. So what it does is the lamp itself, it's the fifth prototype that we made. So it really is different from the first one where we started. And it is made from a 3D print, a translucent 3D print. And also CNC routed wooden pieces, which creates a really nice lamp which could integrate within the environment in a cafe or in a bar. And as you can see, there's a small little shadow. It's the city of Eindhoven. And it represents those areas. And you could use your phone, for instance, to place it on top of one of those hotspots that are generated. So, and then you could see what is actually happening there by use of the application. A cool thing to show, for instance, is also what is inside of it. Because it doesn't use as a projection, it uses a small little water container. And it simulates those hotspots by using that water container and vibration motors. So it actually is a low-tech prototype, but also a low-tech object, which blends in perfectly without the technology and a technological look in a restaurant. So can we pull back the presentation? Thanks.
So, well, you've seen our working prototype, and I would like to summarize our the three key concepts of AMP. AMP amplifies the social interaction by bringing the relevant data to the conversation. It enables for tangible interaction with objects that are already present in shared physical space. And it integrates different kind of city data in an aesthetically pleasing way in the context. So we believe that our project amplifies the social context and brings back the quality of the conversation. Thank you very much for listening.
Hi. I really like the fact that it's not a projector above. I'm not sure how you intend to move the vibrations to different places at all. But obviously, you could just put a map on the table and do similar sorts of things as well. Do you want to tell us a bit about how you came to projecting the lights with the motion of the water?
Are you going to take this one? Okay. It's designed from a perspective, or it's an image decoration piece, so it blends into the environment itself. So what we wanted to do is design something non-obtrusive. So we rejected the projector idea and made something really analog. It's also something that has a sort of old school feeling towards it by creating an actual light. And it was a series of explorations, as I said during the presentation. We started out with a small little laser-cutted map. And through the processes, we also thought, okay, we can't put a map or some objects on the table. In a social context, you have glasses, you have cutlery, other stuff on the table itself. So it's quite obtrusive if you put an object on the table. And we decided to lift up the map and play with the light that comes from that object So we started to play with shadows, started to play with the map and the shadow in a combination. And through water, we came to the conclusion that it was a really nice way to visualize data. So that's probably the process that we went through the act of making and through trying it out.
Question from the audience? Katie?
Hi, it's great to hear your process. Did you guys, I'm curious if you had experience deploying it in any way. It's great to see that you went through multiple versions of development. To see what users brought to the process and what they gleaned from it and how that might have driven like different kinds of data or how you might facilitate the interaction between the users?
I think we deployed it partially. As you could see on one of the photographs, we made an earlier prototype, which had that light effect. And we asked them questions about, okay, how would this enhance the conversation, or how could it improve it? By placing several hotspots or generating those hotspots in that area. But we didn't deploy it into a social context itself. So that would require, or that could be the next step, where we have a fully functional lamp placed inside a restaurant where people could actually enjoy it and see what could happen. But most of the interviews that we did and the user test and the acting out sessions, those were really supportive because everyone liked the idea of having something unobtrusive on the background. And if you want to use it, you could just pull up your application, which is a group activity. So I think, to keep it short, we tested it in a way, but it could be tested further if we have a fully functional prototype.
Thank you. If you have a chance, you should come down and see it after the presentation because it's really beautiful, especially looking inside and seeing how they crafted it. So thank you guys. Thank you.